Alright guys, as already mentioned in yesterday's video, it's time to go again over the account a little bit, just give a bit of an update where we are. It's not quite 2 months yet since I started the account, but we've been doing quite a lot, and soon again we're gonna have the full 2 months completed. So we'll take a look at where exactly I am, what the strategy is right now, also where Project Banshee is at. I also talked a bit about that in the previous video. But there's been a bunch of planned for today. We didn't really get all that lucky with the Sacred Shard pulled yesterday. I hope that we're gonna go over into Ancient soon, so that I can finally get maybe some useful champions that help me to break through some ceilings that I'm currently knocking onto. But we'll go over this in just a moment when we're taking a closer look at the account. Alright, so as we're going into it, let's take a look at the champions I'm currently running first. I mean, the core hasn't really changed all that much. We have, of course, Alice, we got Morak, and you can see I'm still lacking accessories for her. I still don't have a ring and I don't have an amulet. I'm actually using Gom a lot as well. I haven't updated everything that he has up to 16 yet, mainly because some of the items I just don't want to use the silver, honestly. I'm hoping to replace those very quickly with 6-star items that I can then upgrade. Duedan is also quite useful in a lot of the dungeons, partly also because he has pretty good accessories that I got through the daily logins. And then we have Ugo and we have Frozen Banshee. Now, to be fair, outside of those, I don't really use that many champions. Kale, for example, is only used in the faction crypts. Basically, Lemnicia, I don't use her too much either, and I don't have a proper use for her right now. She's not really equipped with great items, and the main problem is that because she's legendary, I need to spend a lot of resources if I want to get her to a point where she can be really useful. So faction crypts it is for her right now. Once that I have more 6-star items in general, I will probably focus on her a little bit more, but just simply because of the other champions that I have, she has taken a bit of a back burner, legendary or not. Others are just more useful in the same role that she would bring in. Now, I also have High Cartoon. High Cartoon is a little bit in an interesting spot because all I need from her is speed. I don't really use her for anything else, simply because when we're looking at Gorm, he also gives me the heal. So that's actually a pretty big one. And with High Cartoon currently, it's all about just having decent rolls into speed. When we're looking at her stats, she's currently sitting at 232. With some glyphs, I could boost it a little bit more, I guess. I could also split some sets and try and get it to 240. But honestly, that's enough for me right now. I'm doing fairly well in Arena. I'm still in Gold 1. I'm knocking at Gold 2, where I don't want to progress to because I don't think I can beat too many people here. But with the lineup that I run, I regularly beat teams that have twice my team power, especially those that for whatever reason don't run a speed comp. Now, there are a couple of traps in, of course, there as well, but she's not really a main focus in building her further than this, at least at the moment. I mean, I would of course love to replace the gloves. I mean, I want to have a speed set, obviously, but I only have those with decent speed rolls. I will get a little bit more, but as I said, in most of my arena battles, I'm currently going first anyways. I'm trying to avoid teams that are clearly focused on speed too, and it works well for me. Now, there's a couple of things that I currently focus on. Banshee is obviously something that I've been talking about quite a bit because I want to use her to increase my damage on the clan boss, where I'm currently getting a 3-star brutal top chest. And I also want to make sure that I can break with her through the Dragon's Lair ceiling and really just go way higher than I am right now. And she will then be my dragon farmer. And once I have her on 60, I'm going to use her for exactly that. Now, the interesting part with that is that I actually have everything that I need in order to get her to 60 right now. So I have everything lined up. I have another 4-star that I can upgrade to. The only reason why I haven't done it yet is because I'm waiting for the clan versus clan tournament that is starting tomorrow. So once that this actually starts up, since we have personal rewards here in as well, I'm trying to get all of that done. I made a video on clan versus clan points, but I have a barrel, for example, that will upgrade her to level 60 immediately. I got all the scrolls for her mastery already. Basically, for all of my two top rows, I have all the scrolls right now. And maybe more importantly, I also have a couple of books saved up that I can use in addition to not only boost my Alice a little bit more, but I'm also going to book Ugo. He is still going to get his 2 cooldown reductions right here, which are obviously the last ones to hit, right? I mean, it's always the same. You want this to be the first one to be hit. Unfortunately for me, that wasn't the case. So I'm going to upgrade this too, and then he's going to be a lot more useful and will likely be my next 60 since he's fully booked as well. But that's where we currently are on the champions, at least. Now, as you can see here, we have still a lot of ancient shards, so this is actually my big hope. Void shards, don't get me wrong, I hope I get an epic void. I hope I get a legendary void. Yeah, chance of that really happening rather low, as everybody that played Raid for a long time probably knows. So my hope are the ancient shards. I could get a legendary, but even a couple of epics would be super useful for me once that the ×2 event starts. So that's what I'm currently waiting for. With the fragment summons and also the events that are currently happening, I don't really think the account can go for the Donatello pull here, so I'm not really looking at that just yet. But then at the same time, when we're talking about dungeons in general, the campaign farming is going pretty well. Faction Wars is not going too badly. I didn't really have a whole lot of luck with my pulls in general, and I'm not going to build some kind of rare champion that I'm not going to use later just for faction crypts. That's just not happening. So what I'm going to do instead is just rely on the epics that I get and equip them. But when we're talking about, again, Arena, for example, so as you can see here, I haven't really refreshed anything. Can get some free wins right there. This lineup is working quite nicely for me. It's winning way more than I expected. I am honestly stunned how many people are just incredibly slow when it comes to their arena teams. Even when I go up against somebody that is already running a level 60 high cartoon and should therefore have a banner with speed, I'm still winning a lot of the battles, and it is a little bit ridiculous. You still have to, of course, pick your battles, but normally I'm doing pretty okay here. I have no problems, and I'm getting a fair amount of medals that I can then use for my guild hall. Dungeons, that's a little bit different. So right now I'm still keeping a couple of potions that I have and like just energy refills, because what I'm gonna do is as soon as I have my Banshee on 60, I'm going to try and break through stage 18, which is a little bit difficult for me right now, simply because it's a force stage, and Alice is still someone that I rely upon heavily, and she's obviously magic affinity. The same is also true for my Banshee. So if I can break through this, which I should be able to once that my Banshee is 60, I just need to keep her alive. I will probably have to manual the entire thing just to make sure that she doesn't die on me. But after that, breaking through 19 and 20 should be more or less super easy. I don't think I can break through stage 21. The reason for that is just because I don't have the lineup yet to make that possible. But once that I have broken through 18, which I should be able to do tomorrow after I upgrade my Banshee to 60, then I should be able to reliably farm stage 20, and that's exactly where I want to be for now, until I have better champions that help me to break through stage 21, and then I'm going to do the same thing with Banshee. That's the main reason, the main idea behind the strategy in the first place. So I will just get all of my energy in and then farm that stage, get more items for the speed set in particular, but also maybe a couple of lifesteal items, and play around that. And then the next project is honestly dependent a bit on the pulls that I get. I would love to progress in the Spider's Den more. I'm currently on stage 10. To be fair, haven't really put any effort into this because I would have to go up quite a bit until I can reliably farm some decent accessories. At the moment, I'm relying a lot on accessories that I'm getting from the clan shop. That works for me, with the exception that just for some factions, I'm not really pulling as many as I would like to. Honestly, the one faction that I pull the most is the Barbarians, and I have only one Barbarian of use, and that's that Thai cartoon. So that doesn't really help me at all. But what I will do is another one that I talked about quite a lot, and that's the Fire Knight Castle. As you can see here, haven't really put a lot of time and effort into this either, simply because it's not worth farming these low-level stages. I want to farm also higher-level stages around 16 to 20, and get some crit damage, get some savage gear, maybe even some regeneration gear. And I don't have too many champions that help me with it. Now, I have a couple, but I will also, for example, start to build Pan a little bit. He's currently fully tweaked on speed. The only area where I currently use him is really just in the faction crypt, so you can already tell that he has 2-star boots here, simply because those are speed boots that have a bit of crit rate. This is nothing great. Let's just head it over and just like threw it on. But I have more speed boots right now, and I will use those, and will just complete this setup a little bit. But his abilities to attack one enemy multiple times is going to help me to break through the shield a little bit more reliably, especially of course in combination with Morak, for example. Then in addition to that, I have also Gorm. So there's a couple of tools that I now have that I can use for the Fire Knight. Hasn't been a priority until now because I'm focusing on the Dragon Slayer, but once that my Banshee is on 60, this is probably going to be the next project because it really helps your account to push forward. outside of you pulling new champions. So that's the general idea for this right now. And then, of course, when we're talking about the clan boss, for example, I think I've already ran this. So yeah, we're on Brutal right now with basically like 1 key. I got like roughly 8 million. So this is the lineup. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. It's nothing where I really started to put a lot of energy into it. But as you can see here, it runs pretty well. It's honestly not a big problem. Sometimes I get a little bit unlucky and then have to invest a 4th key, but honestly, with Banshee hitting 60 and especially with the mastery that she's going to get as well, I really hope that I'm going to get very quickly to a point where I can essentially 2-key the top boss on Brutal and then slowly start making my way towards a proper speed combo. Although, for that, I need a few more champions. The champions that I have right now won't get me too far in Nightmare, and I will, of course, need a whole lot more 60s that's there. I mean, here, Elenaril and Banshee, they're doing pretty much their job. Morak is keeping everybody a bit alive. And honestly, when the ally attack with Morak hits and Banshee gets some additional poison on the clan boss, that works quite nicely. I have also Gorm in some pretty decent gear right now. Nothing too crazy. Again, he's only 50, but he keeps them alive for a decent amount of time. And this entire setup has been working well for me. Clan boss hasn't really been the biggest priority for me, but I've also been able to get a couple of void shards already as a reward, and I've been able to also grab myself a book or two. But this is something that with Banshee on 60 is going to get a bit more of a priority just to try and at least 2 it is. Also, in the current situation, as you can see, Banshee is actually receiving a lot of the single target hits, which means that she's getting stunned. Obviously, not ideal. I could try and revert away from it, but since my champions are currently changing their defense stats so much with every single upgrade and every single piece of gear that I get in my dungeon runs, it's not really worth to go for something specific and try to fix that, because it's just not going to give me enough. I would have to invest some silver, and then most likely with the next upgrade, you know, it could send her back. But the problem for her is when she eats the hit, like she does here, she gets stunned. That means less auto attacks. That means when poison sensitivity is applied, I get less poison stacks on the clan boss. Since I'm still able to accomplish my goal anyways, it's not an issue. But of course, once that she is on 60, I also expect that to probably solve itself. If it doesn't, and I have problems getting a 2-key for the Brutal boss on the top chest, then I'm going to adjust this a little bit. Another advantage of having, for example, Gorm here over, let's say, Uruk is that not only does he get speed, he gets the continuous heal, but also the same as Uruk, I'm actually, Ugo. Uruk. I'm actually getting the Legion. So with that, I have a bit more survivability. Now, Banshee is obviously already in Leech, and I believe so is Elenaril. But yeah, that's helps me pretty nicely. I'm hitting roughly 7 million. That's all that I need for a 3-key. Again, once that we're heading into the next level, I need to go for a 2-key. But right now, this is all I need. This works quite flawlessly. So in that sense, I don't really have a problem with that at all. So yeah, this is pretty much already getting me where I need to be. But to just sum this up a little bit, the progress is going pretty well. I was very unlucky so far in my pulls. I didn't really get too much crazy stuff. Actually, I didn't really get a whole lot. I have a couple of epics that are still worth building. One of them being Grush, obviously. I'm currently starting to slowly equip it with some items. So Grush and Pan will be the next 2 that I'm going to be relying upon. And then I have a bit more support. They're going to help me in the faction crypts, and they're also going to help me with some of the dungeons where I definitely need them. In addition to those, the rest of the epics I'm not going to build for now, just not really worth it. I'm hoping for some decent pulls, and then after I get with Banshee through the Dragon Slayer, I'm going to focus on the Fire Knight. Going to try and also start farming Savage Set a little bit, so I can, for example, upgrade Alice with some better items and get that done. And I'm hoping mainly for some decent pulls so that I can also start farming the spiders then. Simply because I want to farm a few more accessories than I have right now. Getting them through the clan shop was so far pretty nice. I got some pretty decent items, at least for the beginning, where I don't have to focus massively onto the spiders then. But I'm really at a point where I need more accessories. I have more and more champions at level 60. I need a few more banners that I can really work with here. And also, it's a really nice silver mine where you can just get silver very quickly. And that's another thing that I definitely need right now. So those 2 dungeons are the one thing that I'm probably focused on after getting my Banshee to 60 tomorrow the most. And yeah, that's roughly where the account is right now. So it's a little bit of an update. Again, if you started at the same time as I did with the codes and everything, you should be roughly at the same level. It depends a little bit on what you got. Maybe you got a great pull and, I don't know, got a Duchess, which actually happened on my main account very early on, and that obviously carried me into Oblivion. But if you have any questions, if there's anything that is unclear to you or something that you would like me to elaborate on, then as usual, just feel free to post a comment into the comment section. Happy to help with that. And, well, I'll see you in the next video. So that's the account update and the strategy update for now with the new account. Again, we're not quite 2 months in yet, but we're getting there, and the progress is actually pretty quick. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. See you in the next one.